So ever since I was just a young boy, I always found the human form to be really boring and uninspiring. Like, not only humans really, but mammals in general just wasn't my thing. I liked reptiles and insects and ghosts and demons and stuff like that, but people were boring. But lately I've been getting into those like Renaissance painters, you know, Caravaggio and the guys, and it's so awesome. So I wanted to try and create just a portrait myself. So this is by no means a tutorial, it's just, you know, tag along with me while I create my first portrait. I'll tell you what I did good and what I did bad so that you can do better. That's basically what it is. So these first guidelines, first of all, are important. It doesn't look like much, but I worked on these for a while to get the angles right and the proportions right, so please do that. That's the number one thing you should do. The other thing I did good, I think, was to use this extremely limited palette. As you can tell here, it's just a few colors, and that'll help me not get lost in the vast world of colors and just totally mess up. So here you can see the very limited color palette. What I did bad was to use this palette out of wood that was untreated wood, so all the oils just ended up soaking into the palette. So that sucked. But well, now I've learned. Please use plastic or glass when you paint in oils to avoid that. That was really stupid of me, but well, trudging on here. So just putting in these first few values. And doing that cool thing with the brush where you measure the angles and proportions like cool artists do. Felt really good to finally do that. So the nose was really tricky. I struggled with the nose real bad, actually. So I decided to just block in the beard roughly to just get a better idea what the hell I was doing at this point. Trying to give some shape to that nose. And you can see here the paint, how like grainy and thick it is because of that palette that I was using. Ugh, horrible. So I didn't put too much time into the ear. It was just, I just like wanted to get it fairly close because it was in the shadows anyways, and it wasn't really important for the composition, so I just kind of really sloppily painted it, which is fine. It ended up looking fine, I think. Going in with some highlights there. And at this point I started to feel like, you know, hey, it's taking shape here. It's just cool to see, just put a few values next to each other and see the forms take shape. This was my second mistake, which was putting down this super saturated turquoise, like greenish bluish turquoise background. And it just ends up looking really silly. Look at that. It's too saturated, it takes away from the actual portrait, so don't do that. Use some desaturated backgrounds is a tip, because it looks really weird. Of course you can change it later on, but why not do it right the first time, right? So I've learned something from that. The lips were so hard. I was struggling so bad with these. I couldn't get any shape to them, so I ended up just returning to them later, and yeah, I don't know. Not very successful. A crucial part was to put in these irises, you know, at the correct angle and all of that, and yeah, they ended up looking extremely wonky at first, as you will be able to tell soon. Look at that. It looks so stupid. But I went back to fix them later, so they'll end up looking way better than right there. Just pushing on, trying to give those lips some form, and I also noticed that the beard line was too low, so I made it higher here. It was around this point where I started to feel like the portrait was getting some life. You know, with those dark details around the eyes, it just started to come alive a little bit more, which was extremely satisfying. And going back to just fix those wonky ass eyes. And there we are. Much better. Yes. So just some final highlights here of the eye. And the beard was looking really rough and blocky, so I went in with some different colors to break it up a little bit, give it some details. And also I noticed that the beard was too big, so I shortened it a little bit and changed that ugly background to this pukey color, which actually I think it was way better than that super saturated one. So just defining that mustache and the beard a little bit, giving it just a few individual hairs to make it look like there's detail in there, and putting in the final highlights of the skin tones right here. There we are. And this was scary to put in the reflections in the eyes. But after doing this, it really came to life. Look at that. Yeah, pretty cool. I also changed the angle of the forehead a little bit to match the reference. And then here's the final touches, just going in with some super highlights in the beard. They weren't actually present in a reference photo, but hey, artistic freedom, you know? So here's the final results. Yeah, far from the best portrait in the world, but for a first attempt I think it's pretty solid, to be honest. Pretty happy with it. I'll definitely explore this realm of painting more in the future. Here's the reference photo, and side by side they don't look anything alike, honestly. It looks pretty bad, but hey, gotta start somewhere. Alright. Until next time.